Hi, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. An absolute pleasure to have you here with us in
Thank
London. Maybe you could begin with a brief introduction to this incredible film, quite a hard one to summarise, but what can audiences expect if they watch Bardo?
Well, I think that I will invite people to go into the theaters and let themselves go with no intellectualization. Do not demand logic because logic does not have any place in a dream, and this is a sensorial kind of journey of cinematic experience, more like an state of mind, more than a conventional storytelling. So that's what they can expect, like a journey, like a sensorial journey, I think.
And we've already seen so many incredible films that you've made, from Morris Paris to Birdman to The Revenant, but this feels maybe not autobiographical, but the most introspective in lots of ways. So maybe you can talk a little bit about the genesis of the project and what you wanted to do with this film.
Yeah, that's a very fair definition. It's not autobiographical, but it's introspective. It's a journey inwards, in where, I don't know, I felt the need to share and to explore and to, flesh out some experiences, emotions, feelings, dreams, fears, regrets, joy, and things that we have lost and we have gained through the last 21 years as a family that we emigrate from Mexico City to California, and all the things that has happened, and how fast when you get older, suddenly things that happened 20 years ago or 10 years ago, suddenly you said, well, that happened 3 months ago. And all these knots of time and space, suddenly they were a little convoluted. And I thought that it was for me I have been talking about immigration and the immigrants in many films, from Babel to Beautiful to Carne y Arena, that I did this virtual reality about it. But I thought that it wasn't time for me to explore on myself from the introspective experience, what I have been going through, and to share that, trying to make sense of that. It was an experiment and a need for me to depart from that and to share that experience.
And you've assembled such an incredible cast, but particularly Daniel right at the centre of it, and there's such intensity to the role that he has to play. So how did you work with your cast to achieve your vision?
Well, I think Daniel is an extraordinary actor that we know, but I think we are in the same generation. He has been married 30 years with 2 kids, so we share a lot of things, and we are in the same journey. At a certain point, when we have the first meeting at a dinner, we suddenly match and coincide in the perspective and the point of view that we have of life, and what we are interested at this moment, and what it was important, and what is the priority. So I knew at that moment that he was not only the best actor, but somebody that will understand perfectly the nature of what I wanted to express.
And there's just so many incredible, striking images all throughout this film. And what's amazing about it is, though it veers between dream and reality, it always feels very tangible. It's hard to sort of pick a specific one, but how did you kind of pull off these different sequences? The flooding on the train, the pile of bodies, the people falling down, to represent the missing people, and what might have been some of the hardest bits or the highlights?
I will say that I was very lucky to count with Darius Conji as a DP, and Eugenio Caballero, the production designer. I for many years, I was able to write with Nicolas Giacobone this script, and all these sequences were coming to me very clearly, visually. And I was able to storyboard each of them, and going and choose the locations, and going with the storyboard artist to really, in a way, start to make almost like a comic book about very clearly how I wanted to shot, and how I wanted to be, grammatically being shot to serve the point of view of the character in this dream, real, thin line of what this film is moving around, that is real, but there's something off, and there's something that is kind of oniric. So I took a lot of time to work and collaborate with all the team to really find all the nuances that does not make it obvious as, oh, this is a dream or this is real, but these elements that make it kind of trippy, you know? And so it took a lot of pre-production, a lot of rehearsal, a lot of blocking, and a lot of camera and lighting design to make it work seamlessly, that it seems that it's happening but feels like a dream. So yeah, it took a lot of time, a lot of work, you know, very challenging.
And in terms of thinking about, you know, so many themes to pull out, but you seem to have captured something about the nature of the imagination and memory and how, you know, it can feel so real, so concrete, but it's also so elusive. And how we think of ourselves and our identity. So what do you think the takeaways are?
Yeah, I think that memory is something that you cannot trust, right? Memories are absolutely a very limited interpretation of our nervous system, right? That is limited, and time erodes the possibility to claim truth of some event that can be challenged by somebody else that was in the same moment. And then you said, really? I remember this way. I think the only thing that is truth of a memory is, as the character said, the emotional conviction that you can have what that event meant to you at that moment. And that is real. Nobody can challenge that because the emotional has a conviction. The fact itself, it can be very tricky to be say this is what happened, depending in which point of view you were in that moment, you know, and where you were going through. So I think the film depart from that very uncertain and elusive nature of memory, and that's what I think it make it what it is, which is not claiming truth, or this is not an autobiographic, but it's much more this navigation, recognizing how absurd and elusive and uncertain, and at the same time liberating to, in a way, revise your story, allowing yourself to having a doubt about it and to laugh about it, because nothing is really written in stone, you know. All the narratives that we tell ourselves who we are because this and this and this, that can really narrow our possibility. And they can trap us, I think. So anyway, that's what Bardo is, this space that is between. You know?
And just very quickly, can you tell us what you might be working on next? Do you already have a film in mind?
No, I have just such a full meal that I'm not thinking in dinner at this time.
Well, it's so wonderful to chat to you. Thank you so much for sharing all that with us. And can't
Thank
wait
you.
for everyone else to see this incredible film. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. You're very
Thank you.
kind. Thank you.